Hello, my dear ones. Holy crap, my desk is full. Oh man. I hope this finds you well. Those up in the Northeast, woohoo, snowy cold. Well, I've been cleaning things up, digging, oh my God, into all kinds of things here. But this is a good magazine or newspaper. And this one I pulled out because, 561 deaths linked to CPAP machines. Holy crap! Can you imagine wearing a machine on your thing at night and all this sort of thing? And I see that all the time, but now they're admitting there's deaths. Then another article here, blood clots top preventable hospital deaths. I wonder how many. There's probably 800,000 deaths in America due to hospital errors. That's just hospital errors. And you had these blood clots. Too bad we don't have honesty in this country. There's another one I wanted to read about. Oh, does colostrum hold keys for healing? So, they tout colostrum as the early female milk that infants require. So I had a case. And you don't know, there's a lot of companies that build their products up and maybe, right? Especially when I was younger. And I had an Amish lady had a big tumor here in her breast. And she'd been to everybody, couldn't get rid of it. She came to me, and it was going down, but I was too slow for her. So she went to some nutritionist up in St. Pete, put her on colostrum. That tumor started growing, and she freaked out, came back a-crying. I had to send her to Contreras Clinic down in Mexico to give her some Laetrile treatments. And so I was at a fair, health fair, and there was a booth on colostrum. And I said, you guys, you might not realize that processed colostrum is as mucus forming and congesting to the lymphatic system as milk. And they're going, they didn't understand this. And a lot of times humans are so caught up in the medical consciousness of treatment that that's what you seek. When you have a clogged up sewer system, you can use wands and you can use all kinds of things you want, but you can't make chemistry and mucus disappear. It's got to come out. Where it comes out the skin, the ears, the eyes, the mouth, under the arms, under the breast, groin. All these are leaky places, for the lymph. It's where you find the lymph nodes and that sort of thing. But bar none, the kidneys are the answer, and so are the adrenals on top. So you see all these, and you see these emotional components to things tied with this. And of course, those are the adrenal glands, neurotransmitters, and all these things like that. So you got to be careful about treating your problem and understanding it's something you can't treat. If you get into the concept of treatment, you fall into allopathy. And then suddenly, oh my God, you need this supplement, that supplement. I've literally had people with bags, literally. I had one lady with 2 huge bags of supplements, hundreds and hundreds of dollars, right? And she said, I need to know which ones are good and which ones are bad. And I'm going, okay. So I laid them all out on my desk. And I said, you know how confused your body is with all these supplements? The stress you put on your body? It's unbelievable. Sometimes simplicity, sometimes a water fast will do you better than taking 20 or 30 different supplements. I knew this guy years ago, had a briefcase. Snap, snap, that was his lunch, breakfast, dinner, everything else, and they were all supplements. Where's your living power of electrons, your living power of food and their consciousness? You know, that's what man's got to belly up to, like it or not. Now, Chloe, holy crap. This is from a beautiful soul, Chloe. It's hard to read these things, but she's an artist. And you can tell that in every sense of the word. Look at this card. Amazing, ain't it? These are just totally amazing. But she sent me 2 crystals, a smoky quartz. It's up from Australia. But this was a young lady that had multiple problems, and she's working herself out of them. She mentions here about an 80-day grape diet. Right on, baby. Right on. These are the things you got to do sometimes to pull yourself in. It sounds freaky. But my God, 80 days on grapes? I've had people go a year. But 80 days on grapes? But you don't realize, and people don't realize, this is probably one of the most powerful foods that nature produces, both in its magnetics and its antioxidants and its flavonoids, its astringents, and it's a balanced thing. You don't have like a stronger astringent like an orange. I tend to go to the sweet navels. Those are good. They pop out kidney stones pretty good. But grape and grape juice, Concord grape juice. I love Concord grapes. Hard to eat them, a lot of them, though, you know, if you don't get those grafted kind that don't have seeds in them and all that. But she's doing really well, pulled herself out of a lot of things here, and it's amazing. So I appreciate the letter that you wrote. And she's working herself on. I think she's only 27 now, and it's amazing. Yeah, I'm 27 years young, a writer, a frugivore, and a graduate from all our classes. So she's really moving out on that. When you understand the simplicity of that, all you're doing is moving back to the diet. Your body, thank you, sweetie. That your body is designed to, and the human is at the top, the apex of at least the beings on this planet, anyway. I mean, except for the ones visiting, but. And why wouldn't you have the highest, most powerful diet on the planet? The thing is, you get that negative forces taking over, and allopathy is just basically surrendered to these negative forces. So what you see is a killing machine. Sad, sad, sad that in all these years, allopathy hasn't woke up to some things. We've been around a long time. I've been lecturing, you know, this is my 50th year as a naturopath. And I was lecturing about health when I owned health food stores before that. I put on classes on botanicals and things like this. So I've always been teaching people. But filtration of that through the populace is difficult when you have a true misinformation machine out there, like the CDC, like the FDA, and people buy into these federal agencies. The problem is, I don't know any federal agency that is as corrupt as hell. Look at the teachers union. Who would have guessed? I mean, all these things like this has just gotten so far out of hand. But then again, you have to be careful. And she does mention in here, I find this interesting. She talks about me visiting her in dreams and stuff like this, and that's what we do. You know, like I said, always look at that inner. Don't always look at the outer world. You know, there's no saying you got to go in to get out. You know, the biggest issue is, and I've been teaching you this for a long time, is not to separate yourself from that which is. It's easy to get into the traveling and into the mental worlds of creation because it's, you know, the causal is the time track. And you can have all kinds of fun. But you're still in creation. So when you come up against those that either wish you harm or want to hook on you for a while and, you know, things like that. Oh no, people get hooked on all the time. You have to realize that. You can have a walk-on or attachment easy. I remember, this is going way back, when I found the navel oranges of all navel oranges. This old man was a Southern Baptist, but he was an out-of-body traveler. He had a television set in his tish for till, his third eye. He said, if I want to know what you're doing, all I have to do is put my attention on you, and whatever you're doing, I'll watch you. I'm going, holy crap. And he showed me some visitors, things, and he said, talking about an entity, he said, I had an entity for the longest time. And he said, it was great because whenever kids would want to break in, steal oranges or whatever, this entity would send me pictures. And I'd get up and, take care of business. This is an old Southern Baptist man. And at that time, I'm probably 22 or 3 maybe. And so this guy looked to be in his 60s at that time or older. He was a major grafter at these for these big orange groves. He grafted and created new species. And hell of a species. He created a grapefruit this big, huge, and he called it Rosemary after his daughter Rosemary. It was like, holy crap. But he got poisoned spraying chemicals in these fields. And he turned immediately into organic. And he would have the county dump all these shavings in these trucks when the trees, and they send them through these choppers, and it just grinds it all up. He would have them dump piles of it on his property, and he just let that mulch down. And that's all he used, was those kind of groceries. And of course, all that mulches down, that's some good groceries. And so, his navels, you just go, that's a grapefruit, right? Nope, it's not. These currant oranges that you see on the market and stuff, it's like babies. It's like, wow. But the flavor, when you have a fruit that pulls you into itself and says, eat me, eat me, eat me, I'm going, yeah, body's craving something like that. But she mentioned the fact that in one dream I helped her develop a sense of strength, and that's the whole point. A lot of these stories, even on the Grays, guys, you can't be a pacifist in today's world, or you're not going to like your life. Anything in social, global consciousness will end up being your death. And these people are dead serious. Look at the last created pandemic. And the ability for them to get hospitals and other people to lie, to record COVID cases that weren't really COVID cases. When that was all shuffled through, they found that the actual COVID deaths weren't much more than a regular cold and flu-like season. Cold and flus will kick your butt. And if you are a milk drinker, ice cream eater, you're living in a nursing home and the crap you get fed there, you're already highly congested. Why are you in a nursing home for? And of course, you're going to go right to their lymphatic systems. You're going to go right to the same thing. It's not age. It's the health of your body. They're trying to say age with Biden. It's not age. I know 95-year-old Islanders just a pop, 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 pop. And it's like, oh, whoa, sharp attack. So, it's all about your fitness and your health. And if you want to maintain it. But there's another component coming, and I've been building you to that in terms of teaching you how to get out of the mind. Anytime you're using your mind and emotions, there's always someone more powerful, stronger, and can get into you, one way or another. And a lot of people have visitors at night. She used to have serious shock-type dreams and stuff like this, until she learned to say no. And that's what you have to say. Wake up in your dream. I used to try to fall asleep awake. In other words, I used to try to lay the body down, let it lay down, and I went out. I had some restless months or so, because you're awake, and you think you're attached to your body, and you're not. Consciousness is not attached to anything. Yet it flows through everything, because without consciousness, nothing exists. The consciousness splitting itself in duality is what we're experiencing. and you have the negative forces, and you have to look at that and realize not everyone represents the positive side. Not everybody wants to come give you a hug. If you want to go hug a gray, go ahead. You're probably not going to like what's going to happen to you. Serious stuff. We're into serious stuff right now, and that's why strength, spiritual strength, will conquer everything. And spiritual strength is being awake. And being awake is stepping outside of your mind, realizing duality and separation is creation. The one of all things is consciousness. And that's where all your power is. And each of you have a power you're unaware of. But when you need it, the more awake you are, it's there for you. So, a few little tidbits. Oh yeah, gives you a lot of stuff here. Oh man, here's one I found. Don't use corrosive cancer salves. Really, this is Stephen Barrett, MD. Sorry, Mr. MD. God, unawareness can hurt you. You know, these are all just things I've saved for years and years and years. The one I really love comes out of Science News, right? And he says, cancer studies fall short in redos. And I've told you about this a long time ago, but I finally found where I found it here. And it's showing that a lot of these universities can't replicate the studies that claim that using chemo or whatever is whatever. So, again, liar, liar, pants on fire. It doesn't serve anybody to lie just so you want to make money. Look at this world. Money isn't nothing. It's just shells on the beach. You know, there's tribes that trade shells on the beach. And you have certain shells, you're rich. We put a label on whatever we want to label it. I got this letter in the mail from Barbara in Wellington, Florida. I haven't had a chance to really read it all because I'm so busy. But she says, my areas of concern is estrogen-positive breast cancer, IBS, osteoarthritis, and tinnitus. Well, so let's go to estrogen dominant. I hate it when they say that because estrogen is an acid, but its pH is somewhere between 5.5 and 6, 6.4, somewhere in that area. I can't remember now if testosterone is more acidic than estrogen, but either way, these are minor acids. Can they, they promote activity, juices, things like this. Without estrogen, a woman has vaginal dryness. So these are important minor acids, and my bitch is at each end of the scale. When you get down at 3 pH, you're not in friendly territory. The same thing with above 9. You're not getting into friendly territory, right? You're getting into alkalosis or acidosis. Systemically, however, it's always acidosis because predominantly your body discharges acids. Yes, proteins and all this. I've been talking to Pat about it, how you get ammonia out of these, which is the other side of the scale, but by far, metabolitic waste from about 75 trillion cells are acids. And so if you treat the body as alkalosis, look at what happens. You don't get well. Oh! She says, I am 83-year-old woman, 5'5", 145 pounds. Wow! I had an 88-year-old lady in here the other day. That's pretty cool. Pretty good shape, too. Just losing a little bit. Well, you know what? Fix it. Fix it. But when you're 88, she says, I don't know if I can do all. I said, you do what you want. I get it. This is a hellhole right now. Even the Eckmasters call this the ash can of the universe. So, yeah, you're in a place that's tough. But it can make you tough. And that's a whole 9 yards. You either fall and karmically start rolling down the wheel of 84, or you get strong and graduate or wake up even more. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. also, but other than having my gallbladder removed at age 27, can you imagine that? You know immediately her lymphatic system was compromised at an early age of 27, and thereafter have suffered from IBS. Yeah, lipids are a key factor of neutralizing acids. That's why your lymphatic system isn't water-based, lipid-based, cholesterol-based. And that's why, and your gallbladder is a hydrolyzer of lipids. So the mistake is you can live without a gallbladder. Fix it. It's just cells and two fluids. But you get stones. Stones are easy to pop out of it. You know, liver gallbladder flushes, things like this. So she's had IBS. But IBS also is lymphatic stagnation interstitially in the gut wall. You can see that in iridology very easily. It'd be nice to see what this lady looks like at 83 iris-wise. So the route to get rid of IBS is always lymphatic. How about the route to get rid of Crohn's? Lymphatic. In other words, if you're either seeing blood, hydrator, electrical, or you're seeing the acid cytochemistry going out the other way, lymphatically, to suggest that the body reabsorbs acids in a climate that man's going through right now is insanity, in my opinion. After the birth of my first child, a lumpectomy at age 63. More lymphatic, I say, young woman. And other lumpectomies in mid-January of this year. I have high blood pressure and diverticulitis. Well, you got IBS and diverticulitis, meaning her bowels have herniated. You got bowel pockets. Well, the first thing when you think of herniations is, parathyroid, connective tissue weakness. And her flexors are probably prolapsed and everything else with that, probably a prolapsed transverse colon. She is only 5'5", so where are we going? Yep, we're going to the pituitary. Well, going to the pituitary, we also got to look at transverse colon. This portion of the colon is this connection. Both my parents died in their mid-50s. Oh, that's not good. Two of my grandparents lived to their late 90s. That's good. And my aunts and uncles to their 80s. Well, prove them how you can go on past that, honey, and how do you get to 100 or even higher? And here's a lady in her 80s that wants to survive. A lot of people go, I don't know. So you're loaded with lymph stagnation. Well, the high blood pressure is what? Always. High blood pressure is what? Kidneys and adrenals. Kidneys will put those adrenals where your systolic bumps up there. Low blood pressure is what? Kidney and adrenals. That funny? How about blood sugars? Kidney and adrenals. I mean, you're talking about the gates, the doorways out of the human body. And if what doesn't come out stays in, you're having lumpectomies and all kinds of things, and that ain't no good. And of course, interstitially, your lymph system is pretty interesting because it seems like, your whole GI tract. So malabsorption is a key factor. So at her age, she's only, 145 pounds. But she's only 5'5". In July of this year, I noticed a small pea in the middle of my right breast, which eventually navigated to the area around my right nipple, which began enlarged to 4 times the original size. In addressing this, I had a mammogram and ultrasound. Yeah, we could put radiation pictures, see, but do you really need that? When you understand the lymphatic system, do you really need to have a picture subjecting that already inflamed tissue to more radiation? No, it's like insanity. I remember some lady had such a dense breast, larger breasts, fibrocystic, they shot her 7 times to get a picture in a mammogram. Breast cancer, pop those cells right off. And I heard her oncologist was pissed off because they had to shoot her so many times. Well, wait a minute. You get mad because she had too many shots of radiation at one time. Of course, now digital, thank God. But you wouldn't be mad giving her radiation therapy. Oh, the name changes it all. I get it. Therapy. Yeah, I get it. Or, worst of all, chemotherapy. That's okay too. Oh. The radiologist saw 2 areas of concern in my left breast and 2 areas in my right breast, as well as my right lymph node. Well, you can cut it all out, cut your breasts off and everything else if you want. Of course, I think the smarter route would be to understand why you have the high blood pressure, connect all the dots here and realize, oh, my sewer system's backed up badly, and if you don't get it open, you're going to pop spots everywhere. Well, what are you going to do? Treat them with the things that cause cancer? I mean, that's the whole thing. I've got so many studies here, it isn't even funny. Showing you and I think I have them all up on drmorse.tv, but I don't know, we'll have to look at this sometime. I have overwhelming material around here, and I don't know if it's all up or not. It's just a lot of information, and it can freak someone out sometimes, but I'm a researcher as much as possible. Nowadays, kind of sitting back a little bit, but these books coming are intense. So as I mentioned previously, over 20 years ago at age 63, I had a lumpectomy in my right breast at the nipple area. So what does that tell you? You had it removed, but oh, look, it's coming back. And also, why the nipple? And we've talked a lot about that. It's a doorway. Oh my God, it's horrible. It is horrible what a woman can go through when her lymph system is trying to push a tumor out. Your body's trying to get rid of things. Well, you need an opening. Or, like in this one case, this guy's belly, above his belly button, split open and a tumor popped right out of that. And he thought, well, maybe you detoxed me too fast. I said, well, it's out anyway. Yeah, I had it in my lab. I had a lab for a while, and the person that cleaned my lab thought it was nothing and threw it away. I'm going, some people don't know, I used to pay for a decent tumor. You pull a tumor, let's have it, let's show it. So, after consultation with my surgeon, I consented to biopsies in the area of concern. Really? I hate to say this, and it may be demeaning to anybody, but stop it. What do you need to know about it? Do you care if it has a cancer cell in it? Assume that the cells around that area are obviously pulled into that holding tank closet that your body's creating. So, you're protected. However, you're agglomerated. So the thing keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Why? Because your cells keep releasing and discharging waste. Your body doesn't stop because your sewer system's backed up. Of course, after a while, this is going to chase you out of your house. So if you really want to do something about this, quit going to allopathy, because what do you want to know? What do you want to know? If you can't find the answers from us, then you're in trouble. And we've got students all around the world that are smart as all get out that can help you with this. We've got Jason, my son's health center here. And that's what we do, is help people get rid of these things. But you can't weigh a wand. You can't use colostrum, Laetrile, B17, apricot kernels. Tried all that. No, I tried everything, I think. And then I realized, wait a minute. You're agglomerated. I can't magically make things disappear. There's a pathway that's blocked. You got to open the pathway. Well, medical's taught totally different. You'd think after a while they'd break out of that going, this doesn't make sense. But since they haven't, this is naturopathy anyway. Naturopathy is about health and helping you through these times. It's not allopathy. Allopathy is surgery or ER. But it sure ain't the treatment of diseases. That's an illusionary 17th century concept. Disease, the world of disease, the theory of disease popped out in 17 what? God. So you have to open some doorways here. And the doorway is your kidneys. Once you open that up, here comes the high blood pressure down. Everything starts to reduce in size. But now that you biopsied this, good luck. Because now they went into a closed door, a closed closet, and goes, let's see what's in here. Pop, pop, pop. In my experience, I've got cases to show you that just makes you throw up. First time I saw my first reptilian was in one of these extreme cancer cases. Unreal. And it's from a biopsy. Kid was doing extremely well. Biopsy exploded everything. Leave these things alone and realize what a lump, a hump, a bump, and all these things are. What a swollen lymph node. Oh, how's it swollen? Bacteria. The lymph nodes already have bacteria in them. That's their job. Jesus criminy. Oh, you got an infection. Oh, my God. No, you have lymphatic stagnation. Call it infection if you want, but it's lymphatic stagnation. Oh, I did not rush into the biopsies and read a great deal about breast cancer, especially you didn't read the right thing. That's for sure. After receiving the results of my biopsy report, the surgeon confirmed that all of these areas are cancer cells in them, which were diagnosed as that. Didn't give a crap about estrogen dominance. Estrogen is a feeder of the body all over the place. You, in a highly inflamed area, could say it could, add to the inflammatory response, and you would want more progesterone in those sort of cases. But at the same time, what are you going to do? And you're looking at systemic estrogen, so you're looking at what? Oh! The adrenal glands and fat cells. Oh! You're not looking at ovarian estrogen. PET scan was recommended to verify the cancer had not spread to other areas of my body. Oh, here we go, the spread thing. Oh, we're the bad cells. We're coming to get you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cuckoo. After careful thought, I opt for surgery. Okay. At this time, I was not aware of you or your suggestions for clearing the adrenals, the kidneys, and the lymphatic system to clear up the acidity in the body. I hope now you are, honey. Since this was a slow-growing cancer, which you should be happy about that in the sense that if your sewer system's backing up slowly, that's better than seeing things popping and a-hopping, meaning you really have serious agglomeration and kidney filtration issues. I have told her repeatedly that I will not consider radiation or chemo because I do not want to poison my body. Thank you, honey. Thank you. Yeah, it's funny. We'll cut it out. We'll get clear margins. But then we're going to go ahead, just in case, give you radiation and chemo. What do these physicians, or who do these physicians think they are? Some savior from planet Zorkon? Sorry, planet Zorkon. In reviewing there are a few other areas of concern. I have osteoarthritis. Any connection? What does your body do when it's acidic and you're not bringing in the electrolytes? Oh, we're going to steal them out of the body. Well, we all know what's the main one that is being stolen all the time. Calcium. Oh, wow, look at that. And you pull, and then when it hits acid, what does calcium do? How do you get bone matrix? You mix an acid with an alkali. Calcium and phosphorus, right? The little brother acid. Well, what do you think as the body pulls calcium out in a highly acidic zone? You get stones. You get bone spurs. You get all kinds of things like that. I have osteoarthritis in my knee, bone on bone. But take care of your activity levels until you can get your body cleaned up and you get your parathyroid back and you can regrow tissue. And probably elsewhere, I guess. And I receive a shot in my knee to counter the inflammation every 3 months. Bye-bye adrenals. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I would use herbal anti-inflammatories, to be honest with you. Steroids are only going to bring your adrenals down more, and you can't stop it. You're only trying to cover it with grapes, steroids. or anything anti-inflammatory like that. And then the anti-inflammatories are fatal events tied to those. So I'm fairly active, love to walk in nature. The problem is walking is not good for you. Well, wait a minute, walking is key essential to health, right? If you're not agglomerated, if you're agglomerated and you keep moving your joints, guess what? Your joints are going to go bye-bye as you lose calcium in that. As I'm right in the theater, there's a hummingbird drinking from the feed. My mom was a hummingbird freak. We had this huge picture when my grandfather had bought this two-story house that was a famous artist. We were in an art community, and they had a little driveway between that and his studio. Well, Dad fixed up the studio for me, my mom, and my sister, and it had this huge window, and we had our dining room table right at that window. And my mom was an avid bird watcher. Cool stuff. Pileated woodpeckers. These big-ass woodpeckers, coolest stuff. Well, I got a lot of them down here at my house. And I never knew they were in Florida, but I got them all over the place. Big boys. No one ever messes with them. I don't see a hawk ever going after a pileated. Let me see. I had to step back on these activities because I'm still healing from my surgery, which was in mid-January. You know, the problem is your problem is still there. Oh, your surgery is supposed to cure you. No, there's no curative value. Sure is helpful, though. A good surgeon can really save your life, no question. I love good surgeons. I've had them, and so thankful for them. But when you get into the treatment of diseases, you've lost your mind. And so another area of concern, which is very annoying, is pulsatile tinnitus. Oh yeah, you hear your pulse through your ear. Again, they're highly acidic, highly inflamed, and you're going to hear that. And that also suggests that your myelin sheaths are weak. It suggests that your adrenals are down, neurotransmitters are down. Ooh. Having the shingle virus. What did I just say? Myelin sheaths are down? Shingles. Right there. She just answered our question. Of course, you know, when you have a weakness, that's when you see your, and especially in the acidic area, that's when you see your virals come out, like a herpes or HIV, any of these things. Shingles virus about 6 years after receiving the single shot. Oh, Lord. It's almost annoying at bedtime when I'm trying to go to sleep. I was on the keto diet, meat and raw vegetables, no carbs or fruit, since being diagnosed with the cancer because I believe that sugar and carbs, which convert to sugar, may have caused my... All right, you got it wrong. All right? And most of those people got it wrong. Carbohydrates are your fruits, your berries, your melons, and your sugars. Carbohydrates are carbon-dominant foods. Well, why? We're not talking about starch, which is dyed of polysaccharides. We're talking monosaccharides. And if you think that you can live your life without sugars, somebody put something in you and lied to you like nobody's business. A sugar is essential to the movement of life, to ATP, to cell energy. You don't get energy from protein, but these people put these diets away and you don't break down lipids. I mean, that's the last thing you want to do too. The last thing you want to do is break proteins down. You generally have some glycogen storage, but then again, you have to have sugars. It's the starch, complex sugars that can make alkalosis, just like the complex proteins make acidosis. You got to get that in your heads out there. Carbs, it's a lie. You got to have them. And now understanding the need and physiology of how the brain converts glucose to fructose should be shocking to those. The need of fructose for neurons, but you don't have any fructose in your diet? How do you think? You don't. You get brain fog and everything else from that. You got to realize the body's a survivalist, but you need fructose. We're frugivores. Learn the difference between carbohydrates and starch, amino acids and protein. Same thing. Your body loves the simplistic and requires it. It does not like the complex because it's an energy-robbing mechanism, and mostly either alkalosis or acidosis is formed. And in the final analysis, it becomes all acidosis. And you've got to get with that. You're bringing all this stuff out, and this is what people do in this society. They don't know how to properly articulate the truth because they've been lied to. Commercials, carbs are bad for you. So you've got protein drinks that are 30 grams now of protein and 1 gram of sugar. Really? What mother's milk look like when you look at that proportionately? You don't have carbohydrates in your life, you're not a happy camper. How do you get hydrated? How do you stay electrical? How do you form ATP? Starch and breaking down that stuff, you generally have to cook starch. I mean, it's just crazy stuff. On the keto diet, I lost 10 pounds and am now a size 10. Who cares about the weight? Look at what you did to your body. You created additional acidosis and probably additional alkalosis. This morning, I again viewed your video about all cancers, a conversation about cancer. Sure wish I had seen this before I went through the biopsies and lumpectomy. Absolutely. You know, because again, I had an old nun, and poor thing, I mean, she did a lumpectomy. Of course, you're not doing anything to fix the problem, the stagnation, and so you just get another one and another one. She had 5 or 6 pop out of her. One time she squeezed her breast and a tumor, boom! Amazing. There's no Catholic nun going all fruit. Yep. She was a sweetheart. Okay, after reviewing your videos, I have started the fruit diet and have been drinking. I would go 100% fruit. Forget the lemons. Lemons are very acidic right now, and you're hurting, right? You got IBS and everything else, and you'll irritate your bowel lining. Get on grapes. Darker the better, and live on them. Like that one lady, Chloe, 80 days. And she's been on several of them. Cool stuff. Backing off of meat and fish will be harder than I am reducing these. Well, it's your body. You're 83 and you're in deep doo-doo. Sorry, I mean, I'm going to call a spade a spade. You're in trouble, honey. Big time trouble. And it's growing on you like never before. And forget the dead animal stuff. You can always come back to deworm yourself. You know, get on our detox kit where you got the deworming. I always deworm everybody right off. Period. End of story. Bam, bam, bam. That also includes defungling and everything else. I started a fruit diet and have been drinking lemon water in the morning to help my body become more alkaline. Backing off of meat and fish, why don't you go cold turkey? Get some grit, old woman. All right. I have been viewing your videos for the past few weeks, and there is so much learning in them. I hope so, because that's all we do. This is 50 years of naturopathy and clinicals out the yin-yang all over the world. I have a clinic in Portugal. I mean, I've been all over. So we've cured up Presidente's wives of pancreatic cancer. We've done all kinds of things around the world. Children in some of these countries of AIDS. We've done all kinds of cool things. So come aboard and jump into this. The water is fine. I would appreciate if you would please recommend your liquid herbs and capsules from I'd get on the detox kit. Go forth. But I would double the kidneys. I think that's what we do in our detox kits now. Would it be advisable to combine the various herbs rather than individually? You'll be to hell freezes over if you take them individually. That's why I put them in. If I thought individual herbs work better, that's what you'd see. I'm not the kind of guy that's trying to half-ass things. I'm full bore what works. What doesn't, out you go. You know, because nobody has the money or time to sit there and whistle Dixie, and that's what you've been doing basically, and having them play with you. You know, it's like their play isn't fun and toxic as hell and exacerbates the problem. I mean, it's what it is. Call it what it is. Also, since I live in West Palm Beach area of Florida, I would like to make an appointment with you. Well, I don't see anybody anymore, sweetheart, but Jessica is my lady to go to. My husband and I have planned a trip to west coast of Florida in the end of February or mid-March. Make an appointment, Barbara, with Jessica. But thanks for the letter, but if I'm a little hard on you, good, right? I got to run anyway, but take care of yourselves. Realize health is simplistic, and that the lymphatic system, learn all you can about it through our videos, because allopathy doesn't have a clue. The very system that's chewing people up, they don't have a clue. So that's why you see the steroid treatments, the lumpectomies, the chemotherapies and everything else. It's just an insane mess. And if you want to keep the form, you got to back away from the insanity and start looking at naturopathy. Naturopathy is the true and only true healing system on this planet. You've got therapeutic modalities like chiropractics, massage, acupuncture. These are therapeutic. But you've got to get in, roll your sleeves up, and start getting your body hydrated and understand that you have a sewer system, elections, with hundreds of lymph nodes, septic tanks, and your kidneys and your skin are your doorways out, hooked to your adrenals, obviously, and your thyroid. And by the way, your shingles are your adrenals. That's your neurotransmitters. Low neurotransmitters, myelin sheath decay. And then what? Oh, virus attacks. No, it's just a signal. You've got serious problems. And so turn it around. You've seen it in videos, and turn it around. Dump the dead animals. You don't need them. They're dead animals. They're acidic. They cause calcium removal out of your body, and they're already bitching about your joints. Okay. Not to be too hard on you, honey. All right. Love you guys. My staff is off all week, so you probably won't get this video. This is Tuesday the 13th, so you probably won't get this till next week. We'll see if my son can do something with this to get it to Marco. But I want to come in this week, and tomorrow I'm going to be all gone. I've got a lot of things to do. And ooh, look at this. Kind of hard to show you. Look at the bottom of it. Look at the top of it. Look. Pretty wild. Yeah. When you deal with copper and energy and crystals and the like, you've got an energy power, but also a radiation neutralizer. So these things are cool. A dear friend, a student of ours, are making these, and I'll let you know more about it when he says it's okay. But they're from Tallahassee. They got some property down in Punta Gorda, turning it into a fruit grove. He's got peanut butter fruit. Peanut butter fruit? Holy crap, red berries about this big. Said, tastes just like peanut butter. I'm going, oh. Well, he was a watermelon person up in Georgia at one time, kept these seeds of some of the greatest watermelons, Crimson Sweets. Oh my God. Oh man. So this dude knows his act and what he's doing in growing some of these things. And I'm telling him down here, I mean, my mango trees are popping. My lychee is hopefully popping. So I'm hoping for some good mangoes, because right now I'm only trying to find and getting these little golden mangoes. They're so good. All these other ones have a lot of stringiness to them. They don't ripen properly, but those golden ones do. But down here, there's not much to pick from. Watermelons are gone, and it's just horrible. They're hard as a rock. They look red and nice. Watermelon's not supposed to be hard. I love you guys. You take care of yourselves and remove agglomulation. Open yourselves up. Hydrate. And you be where the buck stops. In your dreams, you start working on becoming the controller. These lucid dreams, you pull back and know. Train yourself to be conscious. And that way, in a dream, if someone's bugging you, take care of business. Out you go. And there's nothing wrong with being a little strong. All right? If you get too passive, you're going to be used a lot. You know, you might even have your limbs replaced differently. Seen the Grays do that. So be real careful what you think out there, and realize the strength and power is you, no one else, you. And you're all beautiful. You all come from the same source. We're all one, guys. You know, we might have different bodies, different looks. That's what's cool about everything. I love meeting everybody. Everybody's different, and I mean, what's not to love? I don't want to go somewhere and see everything look the same. That's socialism. That's the negative forces. And of course, that's where the power and control over others exists. And that's what's going on. So protect yourselves. Love you guys, and have a good detox. Yeah.